want to be someone else, so I'll explode. Floating upon the surface for the birds.
Here we go. Welcome back, all you lunatics. It's your host with the most, Benjamin Dutel, coming back with another exciting episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, we are diving deeper into the darkest corners of the human soul. I believe it or not, that is like the best way I can describe this film. So, what happens when the only people who understand your trauma are the very ones you shouldn't trust? Sounds a lot like life, doesn't it? I mean, we all know I'm a military veteran. Come on now. There's a lot of people I don't trust. So, joining us today is one of the standout stars of this intense ensemble. She delivers a haunting and deeply layered performance as October, a young woman grappling with the lingering effects of unimaginable trauma. Please join me in welcoming the incredibly talented Gabrielle Salinger. Salinger? Gotta hope I get that right. Okay.
Hi.
And thank you so much for being here. How the hell are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. I'm excited to talk about this film. I watched the film twice. I have a lot of questions that pertain to your character. Holy
Amazing.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
Insane. This is bonkers, man. I'm telling you. So,
Yeah.
for those watching and listening, before we get started, I just want to say if you are looking for a film that's a grand fucking mind spank, this is it. So, I'm going to say.
All sad.
So, it's just crazy. So, my first question for you is when you first read Micro Monty's script, what was your initial reaction to your character's backstory and the dark twist of the narrative task?
What was my initial reaction to the character's dark backstory? Trepidation and excitement. You know, as an actor, it was just sort of exhilarating to be presented with a challenge like that right off the bat. And that's sort of how I was going into it. When Miko first approached me, I mean, the funny thing about this movie is it is years and years and years in the making. He probably first approached me with, you know, some very preliminary version of an idea of what this was going to be, maybe 2018. And then we filmed over the course of, I don't know, 2 years in little bits and pieces. So he first approached me with the idea of playing 2 different roles. One was October, who I obviously ended up playing. And the other was, I want to be careful not to, you know, give any spoilers here, but let's just say Dr. Hedonia. How about that? And they both presented such intriguing challenges. But for me, October's darkness, what she goes through, the transitions in the story, it just, I think intriguing is just the best way I can describe it. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to hear your take on this because I'm interviewing Avery at the end of the month. So I'm going to see what her take is on her character because it seems like she plays a wild character too.
Yeah.
So Bearskin, the movie, deals heavily with the lingering effects of extreme trauma. You don't have to go into specifics if you want to.
Okay.
How did you initially approach your character and what was the process of getting into that headspace?
I mean, that's such a complicated question because there's so many different things that went into it. I mean, it's kind of funny because, like I said, initially it was so enthralling, the idea of approaching this challenge as an actor. And I was like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to prepare. I'm going to do A, B, and C. I'm going to get into it this way and that way. And then the time came, you know, it's time to sort of start getting into it. And as a human being, I just shut down and was like, I don't want to go to this place. How am I going to do this? You know? I'm someone who really likes to prepare from kind of a psychological standpoint. I really am fascinated by human behavior, why people become who they are and do the things that they do. And I really like to delve into realism in research. So I like watching a lot of YouTube clips, documentary interviews with people who have gone through similar experiences. And unfortunately, in this case, the similar experiences are severe sexual assault, psychosis, schizophrenia, seeing demon possession, really intense things that people genuinely have to deal with in their life. So a lot of it was watching behavior and seeing responses of people who have been in these situations. Miko actually sent me a few, I guess you would call them like schizophrenia type simulators, what people who have to go through this really experience when psychosis is setting in. And it's just very intense. And then the other part of it was just sort of imaginative. What would it feel like if this were a memory for me and I went through this? But there are a lot of nights where I was composing emails in my head, composing text to Miko, being like, "I'm really sorry, I can't do this. Yeah, I have to pull out."
But you did, I mean, successfully.
Thank you.
So, and flawlessly, I might add, because Jesus Christ, you delivered. I mean, like on point was your character. It's phenomenal to watch you and all the other actors in this film, because I can see this film stemming from other horror movies like The Exorcist and House on Haunted Hill, and I love psychological thrillers. I mean, I live for psychological thrillers. That's my favorite, my second favorite subgenre of horror. So, but also exorcism and possession is my number one. And this is, I'm like, it's like this. I'm like, holy shit, I've got to watch this movie. And again, oh God, I need to go watch it again just because.
Yeah, do it. Watch it
So
a bunch of times.
just to try to understand that, because I did take some classes in human psychology in college. So trying to understand that aspect from your character's perspective, it very hard to grasp. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, trying to figure out, okay, what the hell is that person's problem? No,
Yeah.
it seems to be the general consensus. But the film centers um around heavily like a vulnerable group, a therapy session led by Dr. Hadonia, the other Dr. Hadonia. So how does your character fit into the complex dynamic?
How does she fit into the dynamic of the group therapy?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty central to the plot that Dr. Hadonia has these different patients who have been through varying levels of extreme trauma. And I think that's one of the aspects that's so interesting is that it is varying levels of extreme trauma. There's somebody whose house got burnt down, and then there's what I have happen and sort of more and more intensity, as each patient reveals their story. So I guess if you were to put it in those terms, I am at the far end of extremity of trauma of what I've been through. And I think the backstory was that I've had the shortest amount of time working through it, working with Dr. Hadonia.
So
Yeah.
I guess it was, you could say that your character reaction was very unsettling, and the connections between the patients are slowly revealed, which I thought was a very interesting theme in the movie. I mean, that's what caught my attention. Is the connections. I mean, they're all there for the same reason, right? Well, almost the same reason, and yet for some but other different reasons too. So I tend to overanalyze things. That's my biggest problem. trying to pick which ones, whose story do I want to stick with. I mean, so yeah, it's just batshit crazy, just stuff going around in circles. So again, very outstanding film, and holy fucking, I hope people who listen to do watch it, because I was not be able to sleep for like 2 days after watching the movie.
Absolutely.
So there is a line between traditional horror and deep psychological study of mental illness and trauma. Okay, there is, the line's blurring, but it's there. You can see it. It may be a thin line, but it's there. So how challenging was it to balance the grounded and emotional reality for while filming this movie?
Um, I feel it was not that different of a challenge than any other role. Because like I said, even though there is supernatural aspect to what happens throughout the film, there's a supernatural aspect that happens with October. These are genuine conditions that people go through. And I think maybe to someone who hasn't had to go through any form of psychosis, and hopefully that's, most of us, because it's what a horrific thing to have to live with. There are people who genuinely experience it and genuinely have, I always say your reality is your perception. So if that's, or your perception is your reality. So if that's what you're going through and those things are real to you, then period, they're real. So I think grounding it emotionally is just sort of, okay, well, if this is the reality, what does that mean?
Okay, so that's a good answer. But how do you balance with the terrifying elements as well? I mean, I guess that's what I really want to know.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I don't understand the question. How did I balance with dealing with things that were so terrifying?
Yes.
Um, well, you sort of give everything you have on the day and on set. And when you go home, you watch a lot of comedy and try to let some light in. Um, you know, Part of the experience that was so wonderful is that the entire cast and crew, I mean, I genuinely don't think I've worked on another project, and I've worked on some really wonderful projects with wonderful people. I don't think I've ever worked on another project where the entirety of the cast and crew was so loving, so supportive, so cooperative with each other. So even though we were tackling these very horrifying subject matters or experiences, it never felt out of control. It always felt very safe and very supported.
I get that. I love that. I mean, being a combat veteran, I love the support that I get from other people, my comrades. So, fun fact: the very first time I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
I had to watch a Disney movie afterwards because it's
Yep. That's what I do. If I watch
so.
a horror movie, I have to watch cartoons after because you have to cancel it out in your brain so you can go to sleep.
And I was very young. I was like 9 years old. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, who the hell's Freddy Krueger? So,
Yeah.
and then it just, and I slept with a baseball bat next to my side for like a week straight. So it's just,
Yeah. No, it'll get you.
so that is, oh my goodness. But yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Then what your answer was perfect. I love it. Um, the subject matter is very incredible. It's also very incredibly heavy, featuring visceral and disturbing themes. I mean, how did you decompress after shooting? Well, besides watching comedies, so what other ways did you decompress from the intense and emotionally draining scenes?
The truest answer is I didn't. It was a very intense shooting schedule. We were pretty much shooting, I mean, 12-hour days plus. So I live in Hollywood. It was shooting in Long Beach. I guess if you're not in California, you might not know what that means, but it's a drive. So between the commute and the shooting days, you're pretty much on set most of the time. There wasn't really a lot of time for decompression, which I guess can lend itself to performance, especially for someone who, like me, like my character is suffering from insomnia. And it's like, okay, good, because I'm not getting any sleep anyway. So that that really allows for sort of a submersive experience in performance. There was not a great deal of time to calm down before you were right back in it again.
That sucks, and I'm sorry. I mean, it's just, it's just you're on set playing your role, like do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been to LA. I know what the traffic's like. So,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
you're going off set. You're emotionally stressed out from doing your job on set, and then you have the added stress of traffic. And
Sure.
you're like, just end my fucking life right now, please, because I don't want this anymore. So
Well, it lends itself to the situation. It's very immersive. You can get to set and already be where you need to be because you've been through it. And now let's experience trauma. Yeah.
let's see, you get on set. Okay, I'm ready to go now. Let's do this. No, 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 no. So,
100%. Yep.
I'm stressed out. Let's
Right.
go.
Right.
I like talk about wide shots. Wide shots are my favorite shots in the films because they expose a lot. Um, it also exposes the eerie set design of the rehabilitation center, which really makes the characters look exposed. So, did the physical environment at all of the set affect your performance, how you portrayed your character's vulnerability?
Sure, yeah. We filmed the group therapy scene separate from our personal vignettes. If you see them when you see the movie, you'll see that each character has their own sort of story to tell. So the group therapy scene was in this giant room at this center. And it's a very interesting room, but all of the windows are closed off with these huge, thick curtains. And then there are doors that are just heavy, heavy wooden doors. So even if they don't show them, I mean, I think you see them a little bit in the shots. The feeling of the room itself was very uh, terrifying and claustrophobic. And it really lent itself to all the elements of what were happening. It felt as if 12 hours in that room, in that chair with those lights and those heavy doors and those thick, thick curtains, you get that sense of sort of crawling out of your skin and wanting to be out of this situation, but feeling like, oh, okay, well, maybe if I'm here, I can heal until eventually you realize that's not what
Wow,
we're.
I can't imagine the sense of dread. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, yeah,
oh my
absolutely.
goodness.
Yeah.
So, without giving it away, without spoiling anything, the film builds up to a massive realization that connects all the characters' misfortunes. So, what do you think the audiences will find most shocking about your character's piece of the puzzle?
I'm so sorry, it cut out. Can you say that one more time?
Sure, absolutely. So, what do you think the audiences will find most shocking about your character's piece of the puzzle?
Uh, I mean, how do you list the most shocking thing in a series of unbelievably shocking things? I mean, without giving away plot, I think just sort of the impetus for why she's there is going to be the most shocking element. Because you see a person sort of at their worst in their dealings with healing from trauma, and it starts to be like, oh, okay, well, this is just an angry person, or this is just a mean person, or this is just a crazy person. But those things can be so othering and so dehumanizing. So to see sort of the human aspect of how you get from A to B is probably going to be the thing that's the most unsettling and surprising.
Boy, are you people in for a surprise. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I don't get scared too easily, but Jesus Christ, this movie, oh my God. I mean, it had me on the edge of my seat. It had me overthinking a lot. I mean, my wife had to like stroke my head just to get me to sleep at
Oh,
night. So
yeah.
she's like, there, it's okay. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying my hardest. Where are the sleeping pills? I need to take a nap. So
Nico will be thrilled to hear that, by the way.
I hope he does. I mean, this movie is, like I said, it doesn't take a lot to scare me. It doesn't take a lot to make me overthink. This movie, I can't put it into words like how good it is and how much it makes you think and how much it makes you want to like, hey, this is what's going on, but you don't want to say too much because you want whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So, this movie is a very dark investigation into how pain transforms into identity. So, what do you hope the viewers take away from your character's journey and the film as a whole?
Um, I guess I hope that viewers take away the sense of humanity that still lives in people who are forced to go to extremes, that there is always a reason, and that people really are just doing their best to survive. And I think that, as foreign as some of these stories can be from what most people go through in their day to day, it does connect at a deeper level to how it is just trying to get through life and make it work.
So, when this movie is released, where can the audiences go see it and what day?
This movie is out. You can watch it on Apple TV, you can watch it on Amazon, it's on Tubi, it's on Google. If you type it into your little search bar on your smart TV, you will find it.
Again, go watch this movie. Get off your asses. Turn on your smart TVs. Go to whatever platform she just mentioned, and watch this movie. Because coming from me, I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 out of 5, not 10, 5 out of 5, and it'll definitely make you want to rethink your life. Just like,
It might. Yep.
and make you also, if you feel like you're going crazy, just pause the movie, get up and go for a drink.
Yeah, take a little break.
And maybe a little too much for you people out there. I don't know. So, what's next for you? Anything exciting coming up you're allowed to share with the audience?
See, that's the thing. That's the qualifier, right? What can we talk about? I have 3 projects in the works slash coming up that are very, very exciting. In the broadest terms, let me just say one is a voiceover project, which is very fun. It's something that I love to do. One is a live theater experience that I just am beyond excited about. And one is a movie filming in Vancouver, which is cool because I've never been there before.
You are gonna love Canada. I'm telling you right now. I've been there twice. You're gonna love it.
Oh,
So,
awesome. I'm excited.
so yes, thank you so much, Gabrielle. I really do appreciate you taking time out and to sit down and talk to you about this film. I mean, it's been incredibly fascinating to hear about your process and what it took to bring your character to life. So, as much as complex as she is, I mean, so um, if ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a visceral psychological thriller that will truly get under your skin and keep you guessing, like it did for me, make sure you check out Bearskin, now playing available on major platforms. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, I can't give you money back. Tough shit. So, with that being said, thank you so much. You've been wonderful, and I wish you nothing but success in your career in the future. And I will definitely see you again on the big screen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and sizes, the beautiful, the talented Gabrielle Salinger, who plays October in the movie Bearskin. Check it out. If you don't like it, oh well, kick rocks. That being said, next time, I will catch you later. You stay awesome, stay amazing, and keep that shit up.
Yeah, thank you.
How do I stop this thing? Oh, there we go.